Michael closed our summer conference and was an absolute knockout in January this year. I'm really excited. Could you please welcome my friend Michael Henderson to stage?
I believe organizations are the new tribes. I believe that people are spending far much more time nowadays in their organizations working than they are in their traditional cultures, their religions, and their home places. And I believe this has consequences for us all in business. I started off as an anthropologist, having the opportunity to meet with my professor after I graduated, and he offered me the opportunity to go up into Papua New Guinea to go and study a particular tribe. And of course I was thrilled at the opportunity, because there's two pathways once you graduate as an anthropologist. There's to become an academic and teach other anthropologists how to be anthropologists. And the other opportunity is to actually get out there and do the real thing, roll up your sleeves, get dirty, speak Zulu. So I just thought, fantastic, this is amazing, get the opportunity to get out there and get real. So I said, so what's the tribe? Tell me, this sounds amazing. And he mentioned the tribe, and I said, oh, I thought one of our postgraduate students had already been there and done that. Don't we already know about this tribe? He goes, yes, that's right. I said, well, why am I going if they're already up there and doing it? And they said, well, they're lost, presumed eaten. It was at that point I thought maybe traditional anthropology wasn't what I wanted to specialize in. So I thanked him and left. On joining the organization, they had, as many organizations do, an induction program. And the person that spoke to us in the induction program, in fact, the first speaker in the induction program was the CEO. I'll slow that down for you. Chief Executive Officer. Now, it's positioned as a title in most organizations. As an anthropologist, I went, Chief Executive Officer. It suddenly struck me that, in fact, this is not a title. This is a prioritization of the mandate of power in organizations. First and foremost, the leaders are chiefs of a tribe. Secondly, as executives, they run a political process, usually structured political process. It determines who is at what rank and where and why. And then thirdly, there is the O, officer, which is the military, the delivery of strategy, if you like. So I thought, wow, this is really interesting. I started scribbling notes. When you often go and study tribes, they have witch doctors and shamans. Have you heard of these things? And they're often used for all sorts of sort of political maneuvering and negotiating, but one of the things they try and do is kind of predict the future. And they do it in bizarre and interesting, fascinating ways. One of which that is very, very common in many different parts of the world is they cast the bones. So these are significant, symbolic bones, often with great heritage and meaning. And they carry them around in these little bags, and every now and again they're asked to sort of divine the future. And they shake up the bag and they chant and dance. It's all very entertaining. It looks magnificent. And they cast these things, and they look over meaningfully at the bones and go, I predict bad winter come. We hunt now. This not look good. And the tribe go, whoa. And they double their hunting efforts, which is not that far removed. You know where I'm going with this. From the CFO, who walks in with his spreadsheets, also covered with meaningly, symbolic, foreign language as far as I was concerned. They cast it onto the boardroom table, and they say, I predict bad quarter coming, double sales revenue. So this stuff I just found intriguing. I thought, unbelievable. And presumed that somebody was out there already doing this and paying attention and looking at organizations as tribes. Now, there's many different facets of that we could explore today, but I just want to choose one that I'm finding absolutely intriguing, and that is around the conversation in organizations of engagement. Are you all familiar with this phrase? Yeah, and I'm not talking about marriage engagement. This is to what extent people are kind of engaged with the organization and the people they're working with. And we'll talk about that a little bit more in a little bit more detail in a moment. And I thought, wow, this is really interesting, because there's not a single tribe. I've been very fortunate. I've studied tribes in over 50 countries now. And I have never, ever met a tribe that had to run an engagement survey.